Okay, so before we get into the video, I just want to let you know that so I was giving my perspective on this situation that I had heard with Usher and this woman. And the thing is that I thought she was married. So I saw her talking. She was doing an interview and she's not married. She's not um she's not married. This situation did not mess up anything for her romantically, but I feel like I did give a beautiful perspective. So I'm still going to share the video, but I want you to understand that it's not true. The woman, she did not mess up her marriage. She's not married. Okay, so she's in the clear of it, how she enjoyed her time with Usher. Okay. All right. So we're about to get into it. I usually try to stay out of the world and like worldly matters, but I'm going to tell you, my son and I, we were taking a walk today, and I heard in the spirit, I was triggered, you know, by the situation with Usher and Kiki Palmer, and the issue in which that they had with her fiance and how she was behaving. And it's kind of like, I was talking to one of my guides, and, they was asking me questions around that situation. So when I get in the house, an hour later, because I put stuff down, I put everything down and I just kind of relaxed and chilled, took a shower. So when I got out of the shower, when I went on my YouTube feed, there was a situation that popped up about a woman whose husband divorced her because of how she acted and responded to Usher. Okay, so my thing is that we need to stop putting these people on pedestals, because I'm telling this is why this woman behaved this way, because she sees, excuse me, because she sees, Usher as a fantasy. And when we have fantasies, or when we fantasize, it's kind of like subconsciously we're telling ourselves that this is something in which that will never happen. Okay, you tell yourself that because you put this person on such a high pedestal, right? But we need to start understanding that individual, these are people. These are people. They shit like you, they bleed like you, they piss like you, they're fucked up in some way just like you. Okay? And so it's kind of like I understand the delusion where this woman was coming from. But at the same time, and I thought about the Kiki Palmer situation, because Kiki Palmer said, she says, I think that people think that because people are celebrities, we all know each other. And she's like, that's not the case. Some celebrities are fans of other celebrities. So it's just like, okay, I get it. Right. But at the same time, if you have a man, you know, I mean, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? Because my thing is, if the roles were reversed, how would you feel? Because I'm trying to tell you, I saw that woman. I saw that video of that woman, and I mean, she was just all up in it, honey. It's kind of like, I mean, if I couldn't believe it, and see, in the moment, and in her mind, she's thinking, "Oh, this is harmless. This is a once in a lifetime thing." But it's kind of like, if you could have sex with that man, you would have sex with that man, whether you're married to him or not, because you feel like that's a once in a lifetime opportunity. So just because that's a once in a lifetime opportunity, you're going to throw away years of your marriage, and people will say, oh, well, that's Usher. Who the fuck is Usher? Please tell me. He's a very talented man, and he's been in the game for a long time. Well, I don't know, because Usher and Diddy was kind of close. So I mean, I just don't know. But pay homage when homage is due. He is talented. Okay? But I mean, if you watch that video, it's ridiculous how she was behaving. Um, I mean, there are many forms of infidelity. you know. And I mean, that was infidelity without the physical. You understand what I'm saying? It was so fucking intimate. And it's just like you're doing that in public in front of your husband. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter who that person is. It's still like, it's still another man. You understand? And it just says so much. But my thing is, a lot of people think this way. A lot of people, with who they're with right now, if somebody else was to come in, somebody famous was to come in and say, I want you to be with me, they would leave their partners. Okay? That shit is crazy. That is a person, and I'm going to tell you, because and this is what I know. You know, I have a lot of connections to actors and musicians. I have connected with individuals spiritually, and I have been a spiritual guide for them. And I'm going to tell you, human beings, period, sometimes the spirit is not in alignment with the human. So when we're not in alignment, meaning that we are not one with ourselves, the human being, I'm going to give you an example. The human being can be a great person, just as sweet, innocent, you know, but in spirit, they may have an evil ass spirit. Okay, so the human being can be evil, but the spirit is just as godly and as beautiful as it is. Okay, so that's when we're not in alignment with who we are. When we're in alignment with who we are, the human being and the spirit is in alignment with each other. You know, there is no separation between physical and non-physical. This is what we call bridging the gap together. And if you study the chakra systems can really help you to understand that a lot more. Okay, but you know, later on we'll get into the chakras and talking about the chakras, but you know, so my thing is that at the end of the day, this is a human being. This is a man. He is a man. He's just a man with popularity, fame, money, and all this type of stuff. But he is still a man. You don't even know if you would like that man. And I'm gonna tell you one thing that I know. When it comes to a good man, and when his wife does not do right by him, God will humble the fuck out of that woman. And I'm going to, a lot of the times, the man doesn't know that God has humbled her. I'm going to tell you, I have some neighbors. Can I talk about this? Because I don't want to be gossiping. Okay, I'm not going to talk about that. Okay, but I'm going to tell you, when you are a good man and you are a good man to a woman, and that woman is doing wrong by you or has done wrong by you, God will humble the fuck out of her. I'm trying to tell you, this is true. Now, when it comes to women, it's a little more challenging for women because I'm going to be honest, you know, God kind of favors the woman a little more. He has built women emotionally different from men. So therefore, when a man does wrong, when a man does wrong by a good woman, he's going to humble him too. But at the same time, if he's with that woman, he can't necessarily punish him because he's the breadwinner. He may be the breadwinner. Okay, so I'm speaking in traditional terms. Okay, so you know, he's going to experience things a little different. God is going to create turbulence in his life, and it's going to have a lot to do with his money and his finances. And God is going to put him in a position, you know, with dealing with his money and his finances. He may even take it out even more on that woman. But if you sit back, if you be patient, if you endure, what is going to happen is that man is going to build you, and you're going to watch God drag the fuck out of that man to the point to where naturally he's going to surrender. And depending on how much you endure, it may get to a point to, because I mean, sometimes, you know, people are repeated offenders. So what will happen is that over time, when that man builds you, God is going to send you a very divine, beautiful man that's going to come into your life. And, you know, you're going to find yourself in another relationship. That man is going to have more. That man is going to be more. That man is going to love you more, appreciate you more, respect you more. That man is going to be 10 times more. So this is why I be trying to encourage people to stay faithed up. It's not easy working for God. It's not easy carrying the torch. It's not easy, to keep the heart of a lion. It's not easy to do that. You're going to be tested. You're going to be broken down. You're going to have opposition. Things are going to happen to you. But through it all, be true. Stay true. Stay true to you. This situation is crazy. And excuse me, I think about myself. Now, I done been to some concerts. I've been to Keisha Cole concert, but that's a girl. But at her concert, Neo opened up for her, and I believe Young Jeezy was there. I went to a concert, I believe it was Jim Jones, Young Jeezy, and some other people. Now, I'm going to tell you, I just went because my sisters went. I could care less. I really wanted to see my girl Keisha. But anybody else, I was just kind of like, I'm not attracted. I'm not attracted now. I'm going to tell you, I thought about if I went to John Legend. I love John Legend's music. Well, that's not a good example because he's married. John Legend is married, and I like Chrissy. I'm trying to think about somebody who would pose some type of temptation. Who would pose some type of temptation? Hold on, I gotta think about it because I'm not easily tempted, honey. So let me think about it. Okay, so I'm just gonna say Lil Bow Wow because Lil Bow Wow ain't married and he's a nice looking guy. So my thing is, and I do know some of Lil Bow Wow music. So, of course, emotions is gonna be running high, and then on top of that, you got the influence of the crowd. You may even get drunk, or you may even get high, or whatever. But my thing is, for one, I'm not trying to sit too close to nobody because I feel like I can't really see them. I don't want to be sitting up there looking up at that motherfucker. I want to be somewhere to where I can see them. And, a lot of places when they do concerts in arenas, they have TVs. So, for one, I'm not trying to be too close in the first place. And I want to be able to sit down because, sometimes at concerts, people want to stand up and shit. I don't want to stand up. I want to relax and enjoy the show, so but my thing is for one, I would never dress provocative at no concert anyway, because you already know it's going to be men there. And then if I'm going with my man, I don't want to bring too much attention to myself, and it's not even that serious because just as it's going to be lots of women, and it's going to be other women there who are going to feel comfortable with dressing provocative, whether they're single or whether they're with their man. You know what I'm saying? Then on top of that, it's kind of like, I might scream and I might sing the songs. I'm going to be turned up. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to have a good time. You understand? But let's say, well, my thing is, he not going to go, oh, wait, J. Cole. I'm going to say J. Cole because J. Cole has the most beautiful feminine energy I have ever seen. That would be a challenge. So I'm sorry, not Bow Wow, but let's think about J. Cole. Okay, that's more of a challenge for me. So everything that I said about Bow Wow, it would be the same. Okay, it would be the same. Like if I'm going with my man, I'm a dress because a certain way. And I'm still, even though I love J. Cole, I'm not going to want to sit close to him. Okay, so I've been to a J. Cole concert at VCU. It was him and Wale. And it was kind of like, it wasn't a big space. It was kind of like a gym. And Wale was walking around like up and down the stairs and stuff. J. Cole pretty much stayed on the stage. But my thing is that if J. Cole, if he picked me out of the crowd and it depends on what he do. For one, if you see me sitting next to a man, if you don't show no type of respect, I'm going to feel turned off because now I'm just like, you're making me uncomfortable. I don't want to be uncomfortable. Then on top of that, you're putting me on a spotlight and I'm uncomfortable. So I know that I'm going to feel the intensity of wanting to snap on that man, but I got to be in control of myself. So it's kind of like, if he's approaching me, trying to do all of this sweet talking, trying to do all of this and all of that, I'm going to be whispering to him, my man is right here. You're making me kind of uncomfortable. I'm flattered that you chose me, but please don't put me in that position. Like, I'm honest. I'm going to speak up. I don't, now if it's a show, if it's planned, If I'm getting paid for it, then it's kind of like, well, I'm part of the show. So, I got to put on actress mode. But if it's not nothing, and of course, my man is going to understand that. But, I'm going to be uncomfortable because I am going to be tempted. I am going to be tempted, and that is the thing. But in all actuality, it's like it's uncomfortable because it's happening right here in front of my man, right next to me. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to like it. I'm not going to like being in that position. I'm going to do my best not to buck on his ass because I really do think that he is handsome and I am very attracted to him. But it's kind of like, don't put me in that position. I feel like that shit disrespectful, and I don't care who the fuck you are. If I feel disrespected, or if I feel like you're trying to put me in a position or apply pressure to me in any way, I'm gonna surrender and I'm gonna break under the pressure, and you're gonna regret that you did that. I'm gonna do my best to communicate and be sensible, but child, if you step on the egg, it's gonna break. And I'm a break, and I might make a fool out of myself, but I mean, shit, I'm trying to save my relationship. Because at that point in time, you're putting me in a position to where it's you or him. I came here with him. That's my man. You supposed to be putting on the show. You ain't supposed to be trying to fuck with me anyway. I paid my money to come see you. Like if I wanted to pay him, he better do like Chris Brown. Chris Chris That motherfucker be making people, he be making bitches pay to see him and take pictures with him and shit. Like, you better do that. You understand what I'm saying? Even with that though, I done seen a couple of people who done got in trouble for them pics with Chris Brown too. My thing is, it's so fucked up how people be showing that because you have something, you have more than most, that people see you as some type of opportunity that they absolutely cannot miss out on. And it's just like, let's break through that veil, because these are human beings, these are people. Just like you live your life, they're living their life. I'm not about to throw away a loving, beautiful relationship or marriage for 60 seconds of making a fool out of myself. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody is God to me. Like, that's the thing. Like, people worship and they idolize celebrities. And it's kind of like, you got to stop doing that, because in a way that says a lot about your self-esteem too. That says a lot about your self-esteem. And I don't want to be seen. I don't want to be seen in that way. Like, if I had low self-esteem, then I think that I would have the perspective that most people would have. But it's kind of like, I know who I am. I'm confident within who I am. And if I choose a man, best believe that's a good ass man. So you definitely not about to make no fool out of him by using me. So however the situation got to go down, honey, it's just going to have to go down. And I just have to apologize and make a video or some content later. But at the same time, maybe apologizing, but don't put me in that fucking position. I feel like it's kind of like at a comedy show. If you sit in the front, if you sit in the front at a comedy show, you know that it is a good chance that that person is going to talk to you, that comedian is going to talk to you or crack some type of a joke on your ass. Come on now. Everybody knows that. So, but the thing is that people are willing to take a gamble because they think that it's not possible. He is who he is. He wouldn't want me. He wouldn't choose me. So when he chooses you, then you just lose your fucking mind. That shit crazy. That shit crazy. And you got to be careful with these men, ladies, because they love having power over you. But at the same time, a smart man is testing you too. Because if it's this easy for him, just because of who he got, remember, it's other celebrities out there. So it's kind of like, oh, like it may be somebody who has more than them. It's just like, oh, so you're easily woven, you're easily taken, you're easily what? You know, if I was to bring you into my life, into my lifestyle, you know, I wouldn't be able to trust you. You know, like I wouldn't, you know, like you would lose your mind in this world. You would become somebody else. Hmm. That's why sometimes when it comes to like celebrities, because I heard Kelly Rowland say it one time, like she just wanted a regular man. She said she didn't want to deal with no more celebrity men. She just wanted a regular man. But in some cases, you know, sometimes the quote unquote regular people, um, they may be dealing with a lot of insecurities, and they may become like possessive or controlling or even jealous, or you know, in some cases like their insecurity may get to them. In some cases I know, like with women, because I knew a girl, you know, I'm not going to say her name, but you know, she got her foot in the door in that world. You know, the guy that she was with, you know, he was expecting to fall in love with her, but she used him as a stepping stone to get to where she really wanted to go and where she really wanted to be. And it's kind of like she was in love with him too, but she could not take the risk of losing out on her chance to make her dreams come true, you know, just by falling in love with this man and being disappointed and like maybe him throwing her out for the next woman. So I'm kind of like, I get where people be coming from with the way that they be thinking, but it's kind of like, you know, we got to start practicing with thinking through, you know, like thinking further in, thinking further ahead, you know, like maybe just kind of thinking deeper, maybe trying to empathize with somebody else, you know, think about how you're being perceived from the other person. Think about how you may be making them feel, you know. But look, that's my time, because I said I wasn't going to talk about that shit, but it came up. It came up, and I was just, when I was walking, I'm just like, why are we sitting here talking about this shit? Why are we talking about it? I don't understand. So then when I got in the house and my feed popped up, I was just like, oh, okay. Mind you, the phone that I had on me when me and my son was walking, that was my regular phone. My work phone stays at home. So it was my work phone, and, you know, it popped up. Because at first I was just like, is my phone listening to me? You know how your phone be picking up on certain words that you say and shit will be popping up. But that wasn't the case because my phone was at home. Okay, but anyway, we're going to wrap it up there. So, you know, I just hope that I gave individuals just a little something to think about, you know, just a little brain exercise. All right. So until next time, we'll talk again. Thank you.